playing a game again. What have the last 10 months kind of been like for you in that process?
Oh wow, it's been a roller coaster. Going through the knee injury and having to do the rehab, and then that's not including the mental aspect of things and having to overcome an injury and getting to where I'm at now. It's been a long journey, but I feel as a whole, through the whole thing, I've become a better football player, and looking forward to Virginia.
What is the mental aspect you speak of?
I think going from playing as a freshman, playing a few snaps first couple games, and then going in and relieving Riley when he was injured against Boise State, and then becoming a starter, and experiencing like an emotional high, winning 2 games, and then going from nothing. I had to watch the team from the sideline play Oregon State, go out with all the commotion with the black jerseys and all of that, the hype that followed that. And then I had surgery the following week and watched the Notre Dame game in my living room with my parents, and have to be at home to watch that game against the team that you grew up watching. And it was hard. It was really hard. And, I didn't feel like I was part of the team. There I was playing, and then the next minute I was in a knee brace, not being able to put any pressure on my legs. So I went through that, and, it was a gradual process. And, I overcame all of that, and, I've become a better person and player because of it.
When you went through those 2 starts last year, was it your understanding or that you were going to be the quarterback moving forward? Was it proposed to you that way?
Not really. I guess I was told that I was going to start against Hawaii, and then we kind of came to the same decision as we approached Utah State. Was Riley healthy? Can he go? Is his back able to do everything he needs to? And we decided that it wasn't about Wednesday before the Utah State game. But my mindset, I was getting ready to be the starter week in and week out, and that's how I had to prepare, because I never knew if I was going to get called on, and it happened against Boise State, and so I was doing everything I could to make sure I was ready to go.
It was a weird play that you got hurt on and a freak hit. And did that factor into dealing with it mentally?
Yeah, for sure. I've watched that play hundreds of times, and I went through the emotions of, man, like if I would have just kneeled on the ball, or we would have just handed it off, or why didn't we do this, why didn't we do that. And I came to a point, and I had a conversation with a guy that I really trusted and respected, and he basically told me, stop worrying about the things that you can't control and worry about the things that you can. And that was one of the big learning curves, the big learning processes that I learned through the whole thing. And so from that point forward, I was at meetings. I was down in the weight room. I was doing the upper body, the core stuff, and I was doing everything I could that allowed me to be where I'm at today.
Was that the first time you'd really been injured in football?
Yeah, that's the first time that I missed a game due to an injury.
Did it make a little more sense now, like having to go through the misery of sitting and watching your team play, why Riley would fight so hard to come back even with a broken back?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't fault Riley. If I was in his shoes, I'd want to play just as he did. Ultimately, that as a coaching staff, that's why they're paid what they are. That's their job, is to decide who's going to give us the best opportunity to win. And of course, Riley thought that was him, and he wants to play. He's a competitor, and I learned a lot from Riley through his grit and his competitive nature.
2 weeks into camp, what do you think the strength of the offense is as of today?
I think our ability to execute at a high level, but going as fast as we can. So our receivers are playing extremely well right now, and I've been able to get them the ball and going through reads and all of those things. We've been pitching and catching the ball really well. So I would say right now our ability on the outside to execute and play fast and play at a really high level. Our outside receivers are really hard to stop, and then you start to add in me putting the ball where it needs to be, and it is really difficult, and that's how we've been playing lately.
With the speed and everything, I mean, knowing that you've now had a couple of months of going through this, have things started to slow down, do you think, in your mind and in the minds of the other guys on offense, to where it's not as daunting?
Yeah, for sure. And we are constantly adding new wrinkles as we go out to practice and stuff, but as far as the base of our offense, it's all the same. So we know the offense, and as you talked about, and as I mentioned, that is one of our strengths because we know it so well, and we're able to match the execution with how fast we're going, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to being in a live setting against Virginia.
Do you have anxiety about that, or just excitement playing the game again?
No, I'm just excited. Being a part of Division I college football it was a unique experience for me growing up. You think about, playing in front of 60,000, 70, 80,000 fans, and and then you start to add in playing as a freshman, and I thought that I would just be on pins and needles, super nervous, and that's not what I experienced last year. It was an excitement. I knew that I'd worked really hard to get to where I was, and I knew I was prepared. So I didn't feel any anxiety. I was more excited, and my preparation has been, probably better than what it was last year, and I look forward with excitement.
You obviously know this team and the makeup. Do you think that starting on the road is a positive for this team?
I haven't really thought about that. I don't know. I think our guys, they're experienced. They know what it's like to be on the road. It might be a little more difficult for our O-line, as we've talked about. They're a little younger, haven't had a whole lot of experience. So going and playing on the road is a difficult experience, and it's going to be loud, and there's going to be some calls that we're not going to get, and so. I don't know, maybe it would be better in that sense because we have a little inexperience to say we'd rather start at home, so we don't have to deal with the crowd and all that. But I'll tell you what, we're up for the challenge, and, I don't worry about those things.
Taysom, are plays still being installed, or are you guys to the point in camp where it's just working on what you already got in?
Plays are definitely constantly being installed. We add new wrinkles in daily. We make adjustments based on our defense, what they're doing. So right now we haven't started preparing for Virginia as far as what they run defensively. We're still kind of going against our defense. So if we see a different look, then we'll come back in the next day and we'll say, hey, we're going to do this because of this. And, it's been fun. And I think next week it's all Virginia. So we'll start getting those looks and start honing in on our best stuff for Virginia.
How much leeway have they given you, or do you anticipate being given to audible and change the play?
Playing this offense it's a little unique in that sense because we're going so fast. I don't have a whole lot of time to say, okay, they're zone blitzing, they're bringing a field bomb here, blitzing two off the edge, to say, hey, check, let's not do this. So there's not a whole lot of leeway, but the thing that's nice is on pretty much every play, we have a run-pass option. So based on what the defense does, it's just what I decide to do. I can hand it or I can pull it and throw it. And so, I have a lot of leeway, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expected out of me to make the right decisions. With that being said, we had Skelly today, and Coach and I was just like, hey, this is our formation. You call the plays. And, I think our first play was a touchdown, so I didn't get to do that very much. So, but he's given us leeway. He trusts us, and we're getting to that point this year to do that.
I would imagine any quarterback would want that option. I mean, do you like having that where it's kind of in your hands?
Yeah, I love it. It shows that Coach and I trust me, and I know that I have the respect and trust of our offensive coordinator, which is a great feeling. And then two,